Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. What's going on? Hey, George. We're gonna do some let's try that again. Hey guys, welcome to the stream. Oh my God. Anyways, we are gonna do some crit racing. Cat C, we're doing the wobble crits. They start in 21 minutes. If you're Cat C and want to join us, please do, because it would be awesome to have you. Absolutely awesome. So we finally got steering. We bought a play off eBay, because in Canada you can't get these controllers. And it seems to work. I can move myself back and forth. Not the most responsive thing in the world, but again, riding a bike, and although it does seem a little touchy there. Looks like the bot is up and running. As always, exclamation points. See how many points you have. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do. You will get a bunch of points. When you do, you can use them for redeemables in the stream. I don't know if you can see that, but always plug in your computer or you run the risk of just turning everything off in mid-race. Ooh, those guys caught up really fast. So like I said, if you're Cat C, come join us, man. Come race. We'll have some fun. We're doing Glasgow crit. Fun little circuit. I know it's a lot of crit racers' favorite one. It's got that nice little punchy climb. We're doing the regular route, not the reverse. You can just kind of steer through people. It's one thing I wish they would do with this steering. Ooh, way too fast. Is I wish they would kind of make it, I know they did it with the update that you kind of bump into things. If you're gonna have steering only races, I think which would make this more like racing and a lot of more strategy is definitely having to move through the pack and not necessarily putting you on an optimum line. Much like sprinting in the real world. If you're tail gunning and things start going off, it can be a little bit difficult to get through sometimes. There may be people in the way. And I think that's ultimately where this will go, which will be kind of cool. You know, where you've got a force, instead of me going like magically through this guy, which is probably going to happen, that it forces me a little bit more to the outside. And I can do those ride-on bombs. Just with a simple click of the controller. It makes things easier. Yeah, the big holdup for me in the play was, and I really don't understand in this day and age, especially with things like Amazon that exists around the world, is why it is so hard to get one of these things in Canada. Even the new Zwift bike, when they announced that it was going to be available in Canada, I actually contemplated it for a minute because it had the controls built in, and I thought, it's expensive. It's a new trainer, that's great. Mine's 5+ years old with a ton of miles on it. So not the end of the world, but the problem is that it ships from Wahoo to Canada, from Wahoo in the States. So it's, well, everybody else gets their ship free and the price is the price. We're not only charged a premium because of our currency, US dollars, they like to charge more, whatever reason. Works out to a couple $100 more just in currency exchange than it should be based on the value of the currency, but they set those prices because they fluctuate and so on and so forth. And then on top of that, they want $250 to ship it, which really pushes it up there. It's a huge, huge premium. So lucky enough, I had a teammate that was willing to send up the controller. I was looking at doing that. The thing was I would have to have it shipped to him, which wouldn't cost anything, and then they would ship it up, which would cost actually a good chunk to send it, you know, through FedEx or whoever. Not exactly cheap, so I added a premium there as well. But what choice did I have? And then I started cruising eBay. I found one, I was bidding on it. I didn't win it. Found another one that had a buy now, which was cheaper than the cost because it's used. And then ultimately it shipped for less than I would have paid to just buy it and ship it to somebody in the States, and then forget duties, imports, all those kind of things, as well as shipping to my place. So very interesting in those regards. But it's arrived. It seems to work fine. Yeah, so we now have steering, so we can slowly move to the right or left, right, left, right. Ride like I've been at the pub all night. It's funny, it looks like I have so much more road space over there, and that little red indicator comes up. Yeah, at Zwift, we have no problem about pushing over on the center line in the other lane. I don't know. Nitpicky, I know. Nitpicky, I know. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. Like I said, it looks beautiful outside, but the wind is just crazy. I mean, I guess if I wanted to be sneaky, I would just get somebody to drive me out so I had tailwind all the way back home. And then that would be a pretty fast-paced ride, but I'm not looking to do that. So we got like 13 minutes. If you're in the chat, if you are watching, please do throw us a thumbs up. Show us some love. The more time you're active in the chat, the more points you get towards the redeemables. I have added that new sort of route marker thing. I'm not sure how well this is my first time using it. Looks pretty decent, I would say. I think I've got it set up properly. Anyways, like anything, work in progress. I want to see about changing the map. I didn't have enough time to do that before we started streaming. I've seen a cool rendition kind of thing. I also want to add the elevation potentially to the bottom of the screen. Yeah, I just kind of want to shake things up. Make things look a little bit more dynamic. I will definitely keep this setup. Maybe I will just redo things. I have solved a couple of my little problems that I was having, I think, for now, knock on wood. But it looks not too bad. And then it's just other things like, part of me wants to add different cameras, but I only have the green screen behind me. I don't want to start adding more green screens for different angles. I mean, I suppose I could. We just get really, basically have a green screen room at that point. Man, I always keep on playing with sort of a top-down sprint look. So the camera behind and looking kind of forward, but number one, running the wires is one thing. And you know, I like a clean setup, and this, to be honest, it's clean for what it is. You know, I'm hardwired into the internet. I'm hardwired to a large TV in front of me. So at the end of the day, not bad. I suppose I could move some things. That's the thing with this streaming stuff, is you can get buck wild really fast, which I think is cool. I think it's nice to have kind of some interesting setups. But I mean, how far do you go? How far do you go? I've seen some, I've been watching some drumming ones, and this guy has, I want to say, like 50 cameras kind of like spread like that. And it is awesome. But I think that's the difference when you are a massive streamer and huge setup. Even my friend Josh, he's got quite a few setups with a camera with the drums, but drums is, the difference is that the focus with somebody like that is that it's all the drums, the equipment they're playing. There's no game per se, it's them, it's what they're doing. So you need those dynamic angle changes, where here, the interest is in the game itself and the data, I think, and not so much in the person other than watching their facial expressions, how much they're dying, and you know, what kind of effort they're putting in. Are they up, standing up? Are they going? They're pushing hard on the pedals. What are they doing? So we got like 8:40 to go. Like I said, a little disappointing for today. Like, we had storm roll through. Thankfully, they were calling for ping pong / golf ball size hail, which didn't happen. We had that a few weeks back. Absolutely destroyed all the vents on my roof. I just got them repaired. You know, I was just kind of keeping my fingers crossed that it didn't happen again, because I just paid to get those all repaired. Hey, Emma Jordan, thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's going well. It's going well. We are 8 minutes out of a crit race. If you're Cat C, you're more than welcome to join us. We are doing the wobbly sprint series. Glasgow crit. Should be fun. Should be a fun time. Hopefully you're having a good day. So yeah, golf ball size hail destroyed my roof. They were calling for it again yesterday. I just, you know, I can't, I want to be spending like, you know, $500-600 for a roofer. We're playing Zwift. This is Zwift racing, so I am pedaling on a bike to pedal virtually on a screen. That's what we're doing. I didn't know this route had a 10% climb. Why are we climbing? See, 7% just makes me want to jump into the race and sit in the pen. Or let's see if we can U-turn. Yeah, we can. Oh, beauty. Sorry, pace partner. Still getting used to the controller and where my hands are. I kind of don't, I feel like my pinkies are cramped in the sense that that controller is right where my pinkies want to be, but I guess that's why, right there. So I can do those little wiggles. You know what, I don't even know if this race has steering in it. Well, I guess we'll find out. Uh-oh. Bot not happy with somebody in Twitch. All right, I guess we'll join event. See what's happening. We got 4 racers. We got 6 laps. We are in, oh, we got more than 6. No, 5 racers? It looks like there's more than 5 people there. Looks like there's 6. So I guess the number of people, well, there it's updated to 6. That looks like 7. Again, if you're in the race and you're joining us, Wobble Sprint Spears, you got 4 minutes to jump in. If you're Cat C, please do join us. Let us know in the chat if you are racing with us. If you're too busy focused on the, oh yeah, we gotta fix that. I do not want to be riding a steel frame. I would probably notice that right off the hop. We're gonna go with the S-Works. We got the disc wheel. That is the choice for the crit. The fastest setup we got. Got some Tron bikes, some other bikes. As I was saying, if you're in this race, let us know in the chat. As well as, if you watch this afterwards and you're in this race, by all means, leave a comment, throw us a thumbs up, let us know how you did. Let us know how badly you beat us and what you did to make our life miserable throughout, and enjoy the replay of me probably coughing up way too much. We got like 8 people. It's interesting. Zwift is showing me oh, I like the little lap thing. Ooh, I like that. Like I said, I threw in that new thing underneath there. I think it looks not bad. We'll have to play with it a bit. So I was mentioning I kind of want to do something with the map. I think it's kind of cool. I want to do the elevation thing. There's just a lot of stuff I want to do. I fixed up the Zwifters nearby. In bigger races, it should populate the entire screen instead of just that chunk. Although I may change that slightly. I might make some variations. That's kind of the nice thing with OBS and Streamlabs is that you can create these little pockets and have different setups. Maybe we'll do that. Who knows? And this race is probably going to go way too hard for what I want to do this morning, but that's okay also. Just going to have some fun. It's going to be interesting because this is my first legit Cat C race since they've implemented the ZRS. So I'm wondering how it's going to feel. I mean, let's be honest, there are Cat C guys that can absolutely stomp me. No problem. So it'll be interesting how that pace differs. Because when you have those Cat B guys, even they're low Cat Bs or mid Cat Bs, it does change the dynamics of the race. So, and I haven't done a crit race like this in a while. As you know, it's a punchy little thing. That little climb is where a lot of the action happens, where a lot of the selection happens. We were at 9 guys, it looks like, even though it still says 6. Not that you guys can see that on the screen. But we got 15 seconds to go. Wish me luck. We'll see, yeah. Steering is working for the game.
I've been working out so hard today that my sleeves fell off. Ah!
That was a bad shift. Hey, Simon.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Hey, Simon.
Allez, 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 allez!
I've been working out so hard today that my sleeves
One more
fell
lap.
off. Ah!
Hey, Lee. It is, it is.
the leg. You have a problem with that? No, Sensei. No mercy.
Holy smokes. That was a test. Oh. Oh. Look at that, boys. Look at that, boys. That was a big solo effort. So, looks like Zwift. Hey, Manaqua, we are absolutely winning today. This is our first. Well, I could play Joe Pesci if you want. I mean, it still applies.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
He may have got DQ'd because he was still on my board. Is in the race. So there are power maxes. Joe Pesci's just saying what the fuck because I never finish in top spot ever. Thanks, George. Happy with the watts. Happy with the power. Happy. Just happy. This is like, honestly, guys, this is my first win since like March. Honest to God. Thanks, Manaqua. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I went hard. Well, it depends how you look at it, Simon. It deserves a Joe Pesci because Joe Pesci's amazed that I'm on top. You know, just saying, what's this guy doing at the top of the table? That's all. He applies in all cases. He applies in all cases. Funny thing, I'm looking at my thing and I'm like, you know what? I don't actually have something for where I win. I mean, I've got Doom Guy, Son of a Bitch. I did play the No Mercy today. So, hence the Karate Kid headband. We got Hunter. We got all sorts of stuff. We got the D Performance from Zwifty. We got all sorts of stuff. And we got Pesci. Pesci's kind of like the coverall, I guess. I need to make one that is a little more win-orientated, I guess. But, yeah, I mean, I kind of would have liked a bigger pack just to test out these controllers a little bit more. I mean, I think you definitely save time, even out on front, like being able to coast in the corner, out the corner, although I notice I can't move right. I'm not going to complain too much. The controller that I got were off eBay, because it's the only way you can get them here, is have somebody ship them. So you pay for them, you get them shipped, and then they have to ship it from whatever country, either the US or the UK. And then, of course, you've got import duties and all that kind of stuff. And a $100 controller ends up being a couple $100. I managed to get this off eBay. It cost me less than, obviously, the price of a new controller. Shipped here, no problems with customs. It was all covered by eBay, international, blah, blah, blah. And they seem to work. So It's good. It is good. In big packs, the controllers are less useful. In small races, they're quite helpful. I can imagine so. The way I kind of look at it is, if you want to play some games, you know, if you find yourself out front, you can do stuff like not allow people to draft you, which is kind of dirty tactics. I've had it done to me. That's why I was kind of wanting Zwift controllers. There's been a few races where I would pull, and then I'd ease off for the other guy to pull, and he'd pull ahead, and then he'd pull to the right or the left, and you just sit there in no man's land. So it's a dirty tactic. But it works. It's going to make people work, and making the people burn some matches. And I was saying that earlier as well. I mean, as things progress, I think the real play for these controllers is in the pack dynamics. That if you really want this to kind of come out in racing and have tactics actually play into it, I mean, power always does, but so the tactics, you know, is to kind of eliminate what I would call the tail gun strategy, where you sit at the back of the pack, conserve energy, let everybody else pull, and then go for the sprint, which is easy enough to do. It's harder to do when you've got teams. It's definitely harder to do in the real world, because if you've got to move, if you're coming down to a sprint and you're 10, 15 wheels back, you are going to have a hard time winning that race. They made a recent change that makes you automatically steer into the draft better, so less nasty than it used to be, which is good. Because that was particularly nasty. But again, if you're 10, 15 wheels behind and you just ghost through people, granted, like, I mean, road's pretty small on Zwift and there's a lot of people. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if they can create something like that, where you've got to kind of navigate, where you're going to get your speed scrubbed. I think they've kind of done it with the red bumper thing. Like, when that red little bumper on the side of the rider comes up, you're kind of impeded. It won't let you move over. Kind of forces you out sometimes. That's a good thing, because it's a less optimal line. Everybody wants the optimal line. You know, you want to, you know, when you're racing a crit and you're coming to that corner, if you're at the back of the pack, you're forced a lot of times to brake. You don't get an optimal line. Everybody else kind of, the first guys fly through. They get their optimal line, they get to pick, they cruise through there. Guys, as they get further back, it gets a little bit more congested, and then it's like a ripple effect that goes behind. And that's why you see in crit racing, a lot of times it's like guys will go through the corner, middle of the pack slows down, and guys that are at the tail or tail gunning, they're doing big watts so they don't get dropped. It's definitely a much different dynamic in Zwift. And the advantage goes to, you know, power over tactics, I guess, in a sense. I mean, there are still tactics in Zwift, don't get me wrong, but there is definitely some tactics there. I'm just going to end this. Go sit on a pace partner for a bit, maybe do something else. Supposed to do a trainer road workout, but that was kind of it. Although my trainer road workout was supposed to be an hour and a half, not 34 minutes. But that felt pretty good. It's nice to win for a change. tell you that much. There is a notable difference between C and Zwift racing score. Thanks, Lee. Appreciate it. I'm gonna jump over there. Maybe we'll find something else to race. I don't know. Let's park ourselves nicely in the draft. Definitely, controllers are definitely nice. My favorite part is this. So far. The rest of it, I don't know. I'll probably just end up doing something silly here. Y, nothing. E, nothing's a menu. B's back. Oh God, okay, Trainer Road, what do they have planned for me today? I will probably end up doing it. I think it is under overs today. That's why I'm like race. 4x6 under overs at 105% FTP. That's as fun as it sounds, I bet. See, it's not what I had planned for Trainer Road. It's what Trainer Road had planned for me. Yeah, it's kind of I have a love-hate relationship with Trainer Road. I do love their training programs. They are getting better, but they do a horrible job of basically, oh yeah, instead of pressing power up on my Stream Deck, I can just press my power up on the controller. Just like that. Oh, that's nice. Forgot about that. I still got the Glasgow stuff up. Yeah, it's very hard to replicate that. I think I got to take a look here. So it's TSS at 90. I guess if I look at the calendar, it should be imported to my calendar already what I did. Ta-da-ta-da-ta-da. It's got the pacer group already. So I'm a bit off. That TSS for that race was 65. So, I mean, I've got some work to do still. Like, I think I will have gone harder in that race for some of those intervals. So my average power for that race was 214. My FTP currently sits at 240. My normalized power was 254. So, I mean, it pretty intense as far as racing goes. I mean, to be honest, the way the first couple laps, and I don't know if you guys saw it, was, I mean, because it's a points race, guys were hammering it right off the start, which is fine. I wasn't going to go blasting for the first few points, mainly because a lot of times guys will really sell their soul for those first few, and to their detriment later. The guy that got DQ'd was a very, very strong rider. And he was 20 odd seconds out in the first lap-ish. The two guys that were behind me were vying for points. So every time we'd hit a section, it was off to the races. Again, I wasn't going to sell my soul early on, knowing that this might be the pattern. Obviously, you don't want to let anybody get away, because that's going to be detriment. And these guys kept on doing it. So on the uphill section, on the second lap, I decided to give it a punch. And these guys were definitely slowing down after they'd done their efforts to get their recoveries in. I just kept on pushing. And it didn't take me long to get a 20-second gap. I was able to hold that guy that was out front. I was able to kind of hold him to about 30-some seconds. But he continually gained every lap until he was over a minute ahead, and then that was it. But left me out front, and knowing that I have to kind of do a ride. Like today's kind of a wash, to be honest. Like, I planned on riding outside. We had a big storm again. Thankfully, no damage this time, because I just had guys out to repair all the holes in my roof from the last one. Last thing I needed was another big bill to fix more holes on new stuff. But yeah, it's super windy today, sort of the remnants of what blew through last night. So I didn't want to deal with 50-kilometer-an-hour crosswinds outside on the road. So I just decided to kind of like putz around, do a stream, hang out, see if anybody wanted to come crit race, have some fun, try out the controllers, because I haven't really tried them out. I did WTRL on Thursday, so no steering for that. And yeah, they seem to be, I don't know, I think it's a good thing. Like I said, that's my favorite thing to ride on, Mom. Kind of the coolest thing, but I will have to get used to using the controllers. I'm still reaching for that. We may alter some stuff coming up. Yeah. My friend Mitch on Two Wheels, he went to Edmonton for a thing on the other day, and he's like, it's terrible up there. We're lucky. The rain has knocked stuff down. It was the storm came from the south, which is unusual. Usually it comes from kind of the west, northwest. It's usually how storm systems roll in here that hammer us. This one came from the south, so it was quite a fast-moving storm. And like I said, I'm looking outside, and I really want to ride outside because it is like, it is clear as can be, and it hasn't been like that for a while. And it's just that wind is so nuts. I jokingly said to the wife who was going to work, it's like, hey, you should just drive me out of town in a direction opposite, like into the wind, drop me off, and I'll ride home. And we'll set some We'll set some personal bests that I will never touch again because I will be aided by some 50-kilometer-an-hour tailwind, which would be super fun. But yeah, it can get dicey with that because the gusts get up to 50. And it's sitting around 25 to 30, which ride in a bit, but I mean, those days are hard. I had a day with way past fast where we went out and we had a headwind like that the whole time, and it's tough, man. It can be soul crushing at points, right? Like you're trying to maintain pace, and when you're riding with guys like Ryan is way stronger than me, and I love that the guy pushes me to no end. Like there is like it feels like no mercy. He's being like super kind to me. Like he is a super fast rider. He's a good crit racer. I think the last vlog that was out was him at Canmore Crit crushing it off the front, and that's a fast course. And then he rode, and then he still kicked me. But you know, if you fall out of his draft, like you're done. You are done. I was doing, I think, like 500 and some watts to try to close the gap to get back to his wheel as he was just doing his pace, and it's just like, poor guy has to stop to let me catch up sometimes. It's hilarious, but like I said, I'm forever appreciative of guys that are younger, more talented, more athletic, all that kind of stuff, for tolerating my old ass with them. You know, it's most guys my age, they just hear it's beer and hockey. They don't do much else. So, but I just love being out on the bike. What can I say? Oh. But yeah, glad that the smoke's done. All that kind of good stuff. Done for now. Hopefully, wind's supposed to die tomorrow. I think I will try to go put in a bigger ride tomorrow, because like that was the plan for today, was to do, I would say, at least 70 to 100. I hopefully will get that in tomorrow. And yeah, it should be fun. But I think I'm going to end the stream here because I'm going to jump off and probably do a workout on Trainer Road if I can muscle that. And I appreciate everybody jumping in. Manquai, Paul, George, Lee, all you guys, Simon, for throwing out all the grandmothers and cowbells during the race. Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, guys, for the support. We'll be racing, as always, on Monday, doing zracing. It is the last of the Punchy series where I will get my ass absolutely kicked in ZRS. But it's always fun to watch me probably explode for a lot of people. So if you enjoy those kind of things, please do join me then. As always, please like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, it's appreciated. We're getting very close to that 6,000-ish mark. I appreciate every one of you that have subscribed to the channel, follow the races, all that kind of good stuff. So until next time, see ya.